Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Ultimate General Civil War, and we are looking at the newest expansion the game has released, or not expansion, but battle. So the game is in early access on Steam. It's the sequel to Ultimate General Gettysburg, and is made by the Game Labs folks who made that game. And this game is currently in early access, as I said, so what that means is they're periodically releasing new historical battles as they fill out the game and complete the game, and the most recent of those is the Battle of Cold Harbor, the famous futile Union assault on June 3rd, 1864, which cost more than 8,000 federal lives, or casualties, that is, with less than 1,500 inflicted. We are in the midst of this battle, which was a multi-day affair and did not exclusively consist of the charge. It actually included some battles around Cold Harbor crossroads, as well as a Union attack, or actually a Confederate attack, on the left flank of the Confederate line in an effort to secure that left flank. This is from a live stream of just the other day, which I did, and in that first portion, that first part of the series, which I posted yesterday, we successfully attacked part of the Union left, or the Confederate left, and drove part of the Union troops back. Now we are shifting to our right flank again on June 1st, so a couple of days before that historical futile assault that the Federals launched. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump back into part 2 of my look at Cold Harbor, the newest addition to the Ultimate General family. Thank you, guys, and I hope you enjoy. Our left flank is secure for now, but right 6th Corps and Smith's 18th Corps are mobilizing to attack our right. We had time to build strong breastworks, so let them come and be butchered. Let them come. Okay. I will update the Union playlist, Southern. Alright. I'll probably actually create a new playlist, just an FYI, because that playlist ends on a defeat, and there's a new series I've been running where we haven't lost. I'd rather not launch a counterattack against those breastworks. We already tried that. That didn't work so well. Okay. I'd rather just let them come and slaughter them, and if we get the chance to launch a counterattack, great. I certainly don't expect to. So we'll just kind of let these guys sit and wait for the attack. It's kind of ironic, though, that if the AI is not the best in the world, because that's kind of what the creator of this game was, a creator of a very well-known Total War mod, which was credited as making the AI much better for Total War. So, anyway, enemies moving some artillery into the open. Our troops are largely under cover and in breastworks. So, we'll see. June 2nd, I believe, was the launch of the historically bloody, mangled Federal attack. Okay, these men are coming forward. The units on our right are a little bit concerning because they're the ones that kind of did the most fighting the other day. Okay. Are they just going to advance into the open and eat my artillery fire? Because that seems dumb. Let's just go stand in the open under artillery fire. We'll just stand there, guys. We can show them we can take it. Okay. Bring up some more troops. I'm just kind of fast-forwarding through this piece of the battle, because it seems like the enemy is more preparing than actually attacking. Okay. Alright, come on. Come get me. Let's go, launch your attack. Trying to soften me up, I suppose. March them in front of their own men, all while taking artillery fire, again. Interesting strategy. Certainly may eat up some of our ammunition. Let's shift some of these wagons south. Do we have any ammo wagons up here? Let's move these wagons south as well. Make sure that our artillery is getting resupplied. Oh, shit! Here they come! The main attack is here, so we're going to move Kite south. You can see here just masses of men running at our forces. Martin's brigade is the one I'm more concerned about, Martin's or Haggard. So I'm moving Kite down south here really quickly. Provide a reserve. Haggard really got the worst of the fighting earlier in the day, so he's the one I'm a little bit more concerned about. Let's see here. So that attack broke up pretty damn quick. Up here, it's still raging in the south. Why are you guys creeping forward? Okay, there you go. Upton losing heavy. There he goes. He's getting pushed back. So we'll move Kite in. Eustace is finally getting driven back here. You can see these guys with their canister fire have really been ravaging the enemy. And Edwards is now, looks like he's retreating as well. I'm going to move Hunton's forces forward, just in the event we need some reserves. These guys aren't really holding a critical spot. It's a refuse on a line, so if they break our southern line, these trenches will stop them from going around the army. But the majority of the fighting is in the south, the objective is in the south, so if we get to that point, it's too late. So another wave coming in. You can see Penrose is caught in a crossfire between Colquet and Martin. And he's being driven back, so Federals are certainly trying to be determined here. Haggard's still holding on. Another 3,000 men approaching these 800 battle-wearied soldiers. We've got Kite again in his reserve, or in reserve. And we've got Huntington coming up. I don't know what to do with the troops north. I know we've got a lot of unengaged soldiers, but remember, if the enemy does launch any attacks there, we don't want to be cut in two. That's the center of our line, so we can't overcommit our forces. Alright. The Kite's in good shape. This looks like it's devolving more into a long-range musketry duel at the moment. Which these guys are in the open, so again, that'll benefit us. Okay. Haggard's men may be forced to retreat. Their condition is 2%, and that has a big influence on how well you can hold your ground. I wish Kite would stop shifting and just sit in place behind Haggard. You can see here a lot of dead bluecoats littering the ground. I'd love to be able to zoom in a little bit more, but a lot of artillery rounds are fired here at Burnham's. So more federal troops coming in. Huntington's troops coming up. We'll put them in rear of Martin. I think he's the biggest at risk of being pushed. Okay. Alright, these guys are sharpshooters. What guns do they have? Just Richmond rifles? Nothing special? Okay. We probably could flank them. I'm kind of curious what's out there, so I'm going to detach some skirmishers and at least sort of feel our way forward and see what the enemy does have to our front, if some sort of flanking maneuver might be successful. I'm not going to compromise my line, but I would like to know if these entrenchments are manned. We'll go ahead and send these guys forward into some cover toward these positions, and we'll see what we find. Okay, so Terry's uncovered some federal troops shifting north. Not many, just a handful. Let's move further south. Humphreys and Bryan's. It looks like there's definitely artillery coming in this way, so I don't anticipate these earthworks being unguarded. Some enemy artillery. Let's do a little bit more scouting up here. Probably should have done the scouting earlier. At the very least, we've diverted some federal troops north to deal with our skirmishers. We've got some 4,000 troopers under Bryan and Humphreys. Shifting. I don't know if they had any troops in those earthworks. I never got close enough to take a look. I guess they may not have. I'm not sure. Look at that brigade doing some work there. 5-to-1 casualty. Oh, almost a 10-to-1 casualty advantage. Now it is a 10-to-1. No. I can't do math. Alright, so definitely troops here in the north. My skirmishers are getting chewed to pieces. So these trench were... I'm guessing all these trenches are manned. Alright, well, we sacrificed a few hundred men to learn some valuable intel. Those northern trenches are definitely manned. Okay. All right. Not to just kind of sit back and wait for things to happen, but it's kind of what we're doing at this moment. All right, these guys are probably low. Well, actually, full supply for them. Move some of these north. All these guys look full. We got some ammo-starved artillery up here. There's General Martin, I'm not sure what unit he was commanding. I don't see anything oh, here. Alright, well that's not good. I'd love to shift Martin out and then move Huntington in, but that would probably be asking for a federal charge before our troops have a chance to get into place. So we best just keep the boys firing nice and good. You can see it's shifting into a nighttime period, so it's up to 9:05 p.m. on July 1st. The nice thing with the Federals advancing piecemeal like this is every time they do, it seems like we catch their advancing brigade in crossfire from like 3 different brigades and just chew them up. See here, they're just getting demolished. And again, they're getting volleys, they're taking volleys from multiple sides. So some of our troops just ran. I think we had some skirmishers still deployed, or actually those were those Georgia sharpshooters. Hey, Scooby-Doo. Couple more, you know, we've got another hour or so of combat, according to this timer. Where are we at right now? Victory. Old CSA left flank. It's kind of in progress. Shady Grove Road, I don't think we've gotten to. See, I'm not quite sure, like, are these... One thing the game doesn't do a good job of explaining, are these 2 different victory conditions? Like, is this a minor victory and this is a major victory? It doesn't really explain, but if it wants me to hold all of this, that to me would be a bigger victory than this. I think one thing the game could do, it would be nice, especially because they're trying to do like a Washington and a Virginia scenario at some point, is have the concept of a major victory versus a minor victory. And to my knowledge, right now they don't. But that seems kind of important, right? Because there are varying degrees of victory potentially that you could win, as we now shift clearly into a later evening period of time. Yeah, Sam. Right now, this is very much mirroring the "it's not war, it's murder" echo, I guess you would say. Agood's brigade is literally evaporating under the weight of these attacks. Martin's as well, to a lesser degree. So it looks like they're kind of launching one last hurrah here before the sun goes down. And not meeting with much success. I wonder if the stacked formations... So at Spotsylvania Courthouse, a battle that occurred before this in the Overland campaign, the Union met with success attacking entrenched Confederate positions by massing men in deep assault columns and just focusing them at one spot and overwhelming the Confederate defenders. And they met with quite a bit of success there. The Confederates are caught off guard by those tactics. I wonder if this is sort of trying to represent that, where you've got seemingly inefficient units firing with one in front of the other. You know, in a stand-up fight they can't do much that way, but if it's really just an assault column, they may have more chance of success. I'm not quite sure. Let's see here. Does it tell us the casualties? I don't know if the 36,000/44 is starting versus current. 21,000 Confederates out of 24 and 36 out of 44 for the Union, so they've lost 8,000 men in this southern attack. Uh-oh. Alright, so Martin's brigade got pushed back. We'll shift Hunton into his positions. Actually run him into those positions. Get him in there before any Federals can try and exploit Martin's troops being pushed back. They've done splendid. 2,400 casualties inflicted to 600 lost. Each one of these brigades has inflicted almost 2,000 casualties here on the southern front. Martin's boys are still in the fight. They're just removed from the front line fighting. Hunton is now in the front line of fighting. We've shifted our supply wagons south to ensure these guys all have full supply. I don't know if it becoming night affects line of sight. Like, you'd think, oh, maybe they can't see as well or something, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Union is shifting some troops south. Apparently, I don't know if they're pulling them out of those fortifications that we probed earlier or not, but by now we really don't have time to exploit any advantages. They just keep really pressing on this southern front. So you can see here I pulled Hagod's men out of the defensive works. The Union started to advance, and then I quickly moved Kite in to cover, and they kind of held. So the computer saw, hey, they're pulling out, let's charge, and then it saw, wait a minute, no, these trenches are immediately occupied. I did that because we've got 4 times as many rifles in the front firing line now, and a fresh brigade with high morale. Hagod's been fought out, lost 2/3 of his manpower. Done splendidly, but just, you know, we'll keep him kind of as a rear support where he can fire without taking much fire. Again, you can see they're still firing volleys kind of over the top of Kite's men's head, but if the enemy were to charge these positions, they'd have to deal with 4 times as many bayonets that they'd have to dislodge. So 15 minutes left. This hasn't been the most exciting fight, I suppose, but it's certainly been bloody. Look at all these Yankee bodies down there. And we've lost about 3,000 men so far. The Union has lost about 10,000, so, you know, a pretty good kill-to-death ratio for us here. Eustace's brigades, half strength. Edwards, Smith, Penrose, they're all half of what they started out with. Still some strong Union brigades under Steedman, Standard, and Wheaton, and Bidwell up north here, so it's certainly not... You know, I mean, they still outnumber us in spite of these kill-to-death ratios. They've still got 13,000 more men than us. Artillery's not hurting us that bad, guys. They're certainly bombarding the hell out of us, but we're really dug in. I mean, look at this. Brigade's been fighting the entire time. They've lost 200 men. These guys have lost 200. These guys have lost 200. They've all inflicted upwards of multiple thousands. 2,400 casualties to 700, 2,000 to 800, 1,500 to 200, 800 to 200, 2,100 to 200. You know, they're certainly bombarding our position, but they're not killing that many of our men. So, it's more of a, I think, a fear factor than it is actually impacting the battle. Especially considering we're all dug in and firing volleys at these Federals that are just, you know, compliantly standing in the open, taking our rifle fire. This would probably be a... proceeding to the next day. This would probably be a different story if they attacked on other parts of the line that were in the open, because there were spots of the line that were much more in the open. Anyway, yesterday we held our lines, but the enemy continues to become stronger. Hancock's 2nd Corps has been spotted, moving to deploy against our right flank. The 2nd Corps, one of the Union's best. They approach us slowly by digging trenches. Tired from the fighting and the constant work, they will probably not attack us today. If they don't, they will give us time to build an even stronger defense. Maybe we can also find a good opportunity for a counterattack. So you notice that the game is continually referencing a counterattack. That was kind of Lee's mantra. He was always looking for that opening where he'd be able to hit an exposed Federal position. So again, I think it's realistic in the sense that it's kind of making you think in the offensive spirit. I like the way that that's, you know, the way that that's all portrayed, but, you know, obviously I don't think there's much chance of us launching a counterattack in this particular battle. I think June 2nd was that famous assault. It was either June 2nd or June 3rd. Maybe it was June 3rd. I'm not sure. June 2nd and June 3rd there were assaults. June 3rd was the bloody one, I believe it was. So we're still a day away from that. Let's do this. The enemy came near to building trenches or defenses at those general ridges are very close to their lines and should be highly defended. So it's almost looking like World War I now, where you can see their trench lines are moving forward to meet with our trench lines, and what have you. Okay, yeah, those trenches on the south are going to be a little bit more exposed, given that they're kind of... the enemy approaches would be guarded by the woods. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump in here again, and thank you for tuning in. As you can see here, we securely held our right flank, and we're now moving on to June 2nd, the second sort of full day of fighting at the crossroads around Cold Harbor. I think, actually, the fighting started on May 31st. But anyway, so we're moving on to the second full day, and what I mean by that is the major engagements of Cold Harbor. We're going to go ahead and jump in and cut off part 2, but rest assured, part 3 of this series will be coming very shortly, where we'll look at the Union attack on June 2nd and the rest of the battle as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, guys, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.